So I was on Amazon looking because I'm having a problem with my solar, and I'm gonna need to figure out a way to rearrange everything. One of my inverters is making a lot of noise on the charge controller part of it, and I do have another EPover that I can use, but it's only 40 amps, and also my bigger EG4 needs more panels. So I was just kind of browsing around on Amazon and looking at what's the prices for wire and stuff like that right now. It's pretty high on a lot of this stuff. Temco, 100 feet of $62. But here's the thing: a lot of times when you're looking at wire on Amazon, you need to make sure that it's a pair. When you figure out how much you're actually getting per foot. So like here's 30 feet of wire, $39, black and red. So basically you're paying $20 for each one. 60 feet. And also some of these don't contain pure copper wire. They'll be aluminum copper clad wire. You do not want that. I've got a 10 gauge wire from a car stereo amp kit that I had laying around, and I decided to use it on one of the charge controllers where it charges to the battery and it gets hot, whereas the other 10 gauge wires don't get hot, so they just can't handle the same amount of power. They heat up real easily. They're a fire hazard. 100 feet of wire. There's just not really any great deals. 30 feet, $3 coupon. If you can find it where you're gonna get like 30 feet of wire for less than $30, it's a really good deal. But it does happen, but you really got to look on here. Let's see. $10 gauge, 50 feet, both red and black, $56. Also another thing too is you got to watch out for the connectors, because cheap connectors can overheat because they don't make a contact, and then you'll end up with something that looks like this. So you don't want to do that. So cheaping out on the connectors is never a good idea. Now, a lot of times you'll buy a roll of this that'll already have connectors on it. So, it depends how good it is. 20 feet, $26. 20 by 30 versus 2 by 30. Yeah, there's just not a lot of deals. I bought, when it was on sale, 40 feet for like $27. And I'm probably going to have to use it today. These are nice kits from what I've seen. You definitely want to have some of these disconnectors if you're going to be messing around with solar a lot, because sometimes they just don't want to open. I use needle nose pliers and they work sometimes, better than nothing. 20 feet. Man, there's just not a lot of deals. So these branch connectors are nice for paralleling things, but they usually don't use 10 gauge wire on all of them. And you got to remember that when you parallel too many strings and you get too many amps, you're going to melt them. They can't handle, I mean, they usually can't even handle 30 amps, but 30 amps is about the limit of your 10 gauge wire on a 24 volt system. And these things here, you see these, that one's doubled up into one, which is kind of cool, but not a great idea when you're doing complicated strings. But there's a reason why commercial installations don't do a bunch of paralleling, because, you know, paralleling keeps the voltage low and increases the current. Now, parallel is good for being less affected by shading. If one of the panels has shading in a string of panels, you're in trouble. So if you're going to have shading, parallel is a little bit better, but you're going to be dealing with more current. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff on Amazon, but I mean, some of it's completely crap. So you just got to keep your eye out for deals. They do pop up from time to time. Yeah, see, read like what it says, 30 amps. Now, it's 30 amps out of that end where they've been combined, not 30 amps on each one. I've had pretty good luck with all the stuff from Santan Solar. I don't think I've had any issues with any of their connectors. I've had just issues with eBay stuff and Amazon stuff. And you never can tell what you're going to get until you order it, so you're just going to have to take a chance on it. Just don't buy a whole bunch of, you know, one thing, you know. Order it first and check it out, you know. Here's the best deal I've seen so far. If you need a 10-foot extension, they're $9. You're getting 2 of them, so that's $1 a foot. Now maybe if we click on this listing, maybe they'll have other ones. 10 feet's not really all that great unless you just need to make an extension, you know. Nope. 20 feet. How much is 20? 20 is $30, and 30 is $39, so you're not getting a deal.